Actually, when I went back in to ask about not seeing the bypass, I couldn't find anybody, and I went to the parts department, and they were all huddled in the back room. So eventually someone saw that I was waiting and came out and said, "Oh, excuse us, we're in watching your video. We love it." You know. Hey, I'm Jeff, and I'm catching air. I'm out in front myself today, solo. My other half is behind the camera. My better half, I should say. Sitting here, kind of, the days are getting longer, and we're starting to put some plans together for what the season holds. And kind of reminded me that we didn't even talk about the winterizing. The newer model RVs these days have really done a nice job simplifying the winterizing process. The older model RVs, not so much. We had to make some modifications to ours. We had to add a pump converter. I had to learn about all the plumbing, the hot water heater, and how the pump kind of connected into all those systems. A little easier said than done, but it all started with a trip to the RV store. Got a little help here, which is great, which they add this, which is going to allow us to leave this permanently for winterizing versus having to break into the input side of the pump, which is great. Gave us some instructions on winterizing, and of course 3 gallons of antifreeze if we can bypass the hot water heater. So I think we're all set. So we figured that all out. Actually, the people here were really, really nice. They actually came out and took a look at the unit for us and stuff like that. And they realized that not easily can we put the bypass kit in. A lot of the tubing is crimped, and their recommendation is basically just buy enough antifreeze for at least this season to make sure that you can take up the hot water capacity, which is 6.2 gallons, you know. So we actually ended up buying a whole case of antifreeze just for the hot water heater, plus enough for 3 gallons for the rest of the vehicle. So that should do it. I'm going to actually put antifreeze through the vehicle, but I don't have a connection to the input side, so I have to put a crossover valve or a switch valve to allow me to allow the pump to have access to the water, the potable water, and then switched over so we can actually get the antifreeze in there. So this is what we bought at the RV place. Switch to allow the water to flow from the pump into the RV, and then a switch over which you can get a tube for the antifreeze. It's actually got a pretty good picture of a pump with a connection to a bottle of antifreeze. So let's get started. Here's the pump right here. This is the input side of the pump. Goes along here, goes down here to our potable water. So I'm going to disconnect the input side, attach a valve, a ball valve, which we can switch over to actually get a hose into an antifreeze, and then pump it through the rest of the vehicle. Okay. So this is the input side. I've disconnected that. I'm gonna add this and then reconnect it, and also have the additional hose. Okay, well, first problem. So put the coupler onto the pump, but the pump is close to the edge of the vehicle. The addition of the coupler has made it not possible to put the hose back on that is on an elbow. But the pumps are usually mounted to spring-loaded or kind of vibration pads. So I think I have just enough room to kind of edge it over while I try and reconnect the line. Okay. No. This needs to go on, so we are not going to be anywhere close to having the room. Whew. So I think we're into moving the pump at this point. Maybe moving the pump, remounting the pump might be a spring project because we're just going to put it away. So unattach the pump, attach this, and then figure it out when we take it out of storage. Okay. Never a good sign of a project when you have to go get the bucket. So now unscrew pump from base. 2 ways to skin a cat. We do have access to the pump through an external panel. You can see it in the back. Very hard to work on. You can't quite see it, but the mounting screws are very visible and accessible from this side. Actually, there's only 2 mounting screws, so obviously that when they put it in, they did it with access from here. When I eventually move it, I'll probably make it so I'm more accessible from the inside trap.
That went pretty good. you have water spots all over your glasses.
Right, and so my 6th grade teacher had an exam one time, and he said you have to read the directions first. Of course, no one did, and they did the whole assignment. And the last line of the assignment was, "You don't have to do the assignment." So only the smart kids that read the directions. I was not one of them. These directions had me do the whole thing, and the last line was like, if you have a female connection, which we actually do on our pump, then these directions here apply. So hopefully, and it would have been a little different than the way I did it, but hopefully it's tight, watertight. If it's not, hopefully it doesn't drip too much because we're antifreezing this vehicle right now. So, tubing connects to the switch I just put in. This is temporary. You take it out, you don't leave it with it, or you could. And then we'll get a bucket of antifreeze going. So attach pipe first. Okay, so connected. I'm just gonna put the bucket of antifreeze down in the well. The tube's long enough to go down to the bottom of that, and we'll see if it works. Connect it up. Just gotta find a place this won't spill. Okay, antifreeze bucket. You can see the valve. The up position points towards the tube. The down position would be a regular connection that allows water to flow from the potable water. Pump off its mount because we had to add this whole section that wouldn't have been able to fit because obstruction here. We're going to turn the pump on. Okay. We have antifreeze sucking. Where is it going? We ran out of antifreeze of course we've already drained the vehicle of all the water. So obviously there's 3 gallons of piping plus obviously getting it up through the fixtures. So we ran out of antifreeze, so we're going to stage a couple of these so we can quickly cross over. Open the caps, be ready, and we can just kind of go from one to another. Success. The pump ran quite a while, maybe 4 gallons before we actually started to see flow in some of the in the fixtures. Took a little more while for the hot water to fill the hot water tank, another 6 gallons. But our calculations on fluids were perfect. The guy says you should use about 8 gallons of this stuff and have 1 gallon left over for the traps. So now we're just going to go fill the traps. I'm going to disconnect the tube, the feeder tube, put the cap, which I have yet to lose, back on, and turn the switch back on to the regular supply line. And then close this all up and be on our way. And a big shout out to Campers Inn in Connecticut. They really helped us pointing us in the right direction and made the job a lot easier. And hopefully this provides you a lot of information if you're trying to undertake this type of modification for winterizing. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.